Hello, I am Denise J. Charles, and I invite you to read with me. What are we reading? We're reading my most recent book, Tonight I Am a Butterfly, and we are at reading number 27. Now, this book is a book of 61 inspirational readings, diverse inspirational readings. Each reading is distinct, each reading is different. Each reading begins with a quotation which is linked to that reading's topic, and each reading is capped with an interactive activity at the end to help us navigate that information, to help us interface with the information, and to move us along on our journey towards growth and development, which is what this book is really all about. Now, as I said just now, we are at reading number 27, and I know it's the 27th that you're viewing this video for the first time. And ironically, the title of reading number 27 is Tonight I Am a Butterfly. Now, this is the reading that influenced the title of the book, because the book is Tonight I Am a Butterfly. And each reading, while each reading is distinct and different, each reading carries the theme of some element of personal change, some element of growth, some element of movement. And I thought it appropriate to name the entire book, the entire collection of readings, after this particular reading. So I think it is great that as we begin our very first segment of my Read With Me series, that we're beginning with the reading that is actually the title that was used for the entire book. So we are at reading number 27. Tonight I Am a Butterfly. We delight in the beauty of the butterfly, but rarely admit the changes it has gone through to achieve that beauty. Maya Angelou. I'm going to say that again. We delight in the beauty of the butterfly, but rarely admit the changes it has gone through to achieve that beauty. Maya Angelou. A butterfly's DNA is responsible for how it adapts and changes over a specified cycle. Imprinted within its genetic wiring or code is the predetermination to change identity from caterpillar to butterfly. There is actually nothing this creature can do to stop this process from happening. It is outside of its control. And as long as the process of metamorphosis is complete, there is no turning back. Its new identity is forever sealed. As people, our fate isn't quite the same. We have the option and power of choosing whether or not to transform identity from victim to victor in any of life's circumstances. We can atrophy, wallow in negativity, and refuse to emerge the beauty we were created to reflect. When we hold on to pain, guilt, rejection, unforgiveness, or unhappiness, we are like a caterpillar refusing the process of metamorphosis. We are limiting our own potential by allowing ourselves to be pigeonholed by negativity. We're refusing to grow or refusing to change because there is some comfort in our treasured identity. Although we might desire beauty as an end result, we may in fact be afraid to embrace the process of beautification, which can come from our own metamorphosis. The majestic beauty of the butterfly goes without question. Perhaps this is why there are creatures of the day who honestly will notice a butterfly at night. The darkness would obviously shroud its rich texture and colors, and we would be none the wiser. Yet at night, when it is darkest, when the identity of the creature is perhaps obscured from view, its inherent nature and identity remains the same. It is still that beautiful butterfly, no matter how the darkness tries to cover its radiance. Our relationships and our lives can be very much like the experience of the butterfly. We can allow beauty, texture, value, and even technicolor to emerge from our experiences, in spite of the darkness or challenges we may face. In fact, our experiences of darkness or of nighttime, though important to our growth, should not totally define us, even though they may add value. Tonight, I Am a Butterfly speaks about the power of choice. We can choose to see the beauty of life even when surrounded by negative circumstances. We can choose to hold on to a core sense of value even when a painful occurrence attempts to tell us otherwise. We can choose beauty in the dark even when beauty is hardly visible. To bring this truth home to my personal life, I remember experiencing self-rejection, self-hate, and a pervasive sense of inferiority as a child. Although I have always been talented and bright academically, I was dogged by these secret feelings because I carried the weight of an experience of secret sexual abuse perpetrated by a relative. This, coupled with my broken home and the emotional absence of my father, led to even deeper feelings of disconnection and inadequacy within myself. I never thought that I was good enough, and I longed to feel loved and accepted. I became a barrel of contradictions, assertive and own-wish as a child trying to establish my identity, while feeling all the while that I did not quite fit in. Through ongoing counseling and my willingness to confront these feelings as an adult, I was able over time to experience healing from many of the shadows that dogged my childhood and adolescence. This healing allows me now to articulate as a mature adult feelings that were hidden and masked during my adolescence and young adulthood. This has enriched my growth experience and has put me in a place where I can be of help to others. But this has been a choice, birthed out of my willingness to be honest with myself and my own personal darkness. In practical terms, therefore, our dark experiences or incidents of failing do not make us inherent failures. Rejection from our spouse does not render us undesirable. A wayward child does not mean we necessarily failed at parenting, nor does a financial challenge mean that we are doomed to a lifetime of poverty. An experience of abuse, which might have been hidden, does not make us guilty of wrongdoing, nor does it render us willing victims. There are, however, no magic portions to our transformation. We can't continue to do business as usual while expecting different results. Now, that isn't quite the end of this reading. There's a little bit left to go and the activity, but I thought I'd pause and I'd stop right there because, of course, I want you to get my book. Tonight, I Am a Butterfly, Celebrating Seasons of Change, a book of diverse readings. There's 61 of them in all, and each reading has an interactive activity at the end, and you got a glimpse of what this particular reading is about, and this is the reading that names the entire book, Tonight I Am a Butterfly, and there are 2 questions that are posed at the end of this reading. I didn't read right to the end of the reading, so I left some of it out. Each reading is about, I would say, 2 pages perhaps. Yeah, 2 pages. This one begins here and it goes there and then it ends over there. So each reading is about 2 pages, and some are a page and a half. So they're not long readings. They're readings that you can do in a day. You can read it however you want to read it. You might want to read it continuously. You might want to go from reading to reading and just when you're tired, put it down and take it back up. But I advise people that they can do 1 a day if they want to create a routine, or they can do 2 a day, 1 in the morning and 1 in the evening. It's up to you. If you do 1 a day, it's going to take you about 61 days to finish the book, since there's 61 readings. If you do 2 a day, you'll be finished the book in a month, 30 days, 31 most, max. But it's up to you. But I invite you to read with me, and I just want to point out something about this particular reading. Tonight I'm a butterfly. I'm trying to keep it very brief. And that's why you didn't read the whole reading. Plus, I want you to get the book, of course. The poignant thing about this that stands out for me is that becoming a butterfly, or moving from caterpillar to butterfly, that process of metamorphosis, is something that the butterfly, well, the caterpillar, once that process has started, that the caterpillar cannot stop the process from being complete. You know, the caterpillar must go through it. Once it has started, it must end. And very often, we see the beautiful butterfly and we totally forget that it used to be a caterpillar. We forget what it was before it became the butterfly. And I want you to apply that principle to your own life. I posted yesterday on Facebook a picture of the butterfly that we used at my book launch, because we did a kind of live painting where we had my dear friend and artist Lorna Wilson. She led the painting of the butterfly and invited all my guests, including my family, my friends, myself, I was also a part of it, to paint a bit of that picture. And that beautiful butterfly emerged. It's absolutely wonderful. And it may seem incomplete, but I decided to leave it that way because I thought of how impactful that was. The fact that none of us is complete. We are a work in progress, and we may see that beautiful butterfly and we may think, oh, it's perfect. But we forget what it was before. We forgot the process element. We forgot what it went through. And similarly, as I've drawn references from my own life, and I was very open here about sharing from my past and sharing a lot of the pain and the hurt that I went through as a child and as an adolescent. I speak about my self-hate. I speak about self-rejection. I speak about a pervasive sense of inferiority that I had as a child. And I talked about the things that made these feelings seem larger than life. And they consumed me and really impacted me in several ways that I won't go into right now. But certainly, I think that as long as I got to that point where I recognized these feelings, and I talk about the fact that I went to counseling and I was able to do some self-exploration, and God made a tremendous difference as well. My own reading, my own developing myself, connecting with my past, etc. That helped me to navigate that time and to emerge into who I am today. And you would have your own challenges. You would have your own experiences, your own caterpillar moments, your own moments that brought you to the point of becoming a butterfly. And maybe you're still at that stage of being beautified. None of us is perfect. None of us is completely over everything. We all continue to work on ourselves. And even when we have experienced healing, as I have, with respect to things we've been through, there are other things that we have to surmount. There are other mountains to go over, to continue to be a better person, to continue to be that person that God has always intended us to be. And of course, we do all of this not through simply human effort, not simply through mind over matter, because there is a combination. We have to want to change. We have to desire change. The Bible talks about changing the inward parts. The Bible talks about renewing the mind. And we have to have a will to do those things. But at the same time, we must also depend on God to work in and through us and to allow that process to be complete. We have to cooperate with God. God says a lot of great things about us, but we have to believe them about ourselves, and we have to want that change. So it's a combination of the effort of what God is going to do through us and what we are going to allow him to do through us and what we're going to also desire for ourselves. So because God is doing the work in us and changing us does not mean that we don't have to cooperate in that change. So I want to encourage you. I'm just going to read one little bit of one of the activities, because there are two things that the reading asks you to do at the end. And the first one says, identify any hidden or exposed dark place which threatens to disturb your sense of peace. So I challenge you right now. Look into your heart, look into your past, even look into your present, your now moments, and think of any dark place, any dark thing that threatens your peace of mind. Maybe it's something that is obvious to you, obvious to everyone else. Maybe it's something that's not so obvious because it's internal, it's deep, it's hidden, you haven't spoken about it. I want you to think about that thing, and I want you to shed some light on it so that you can experience that healing, you can experience that change, you can experience that growth, you can become that butterfly. Thanks so much for joining me. for Read With Me.